All right, welcome to the show. This is the Father, Son, and Title Show podcast, episode number 14. I'm the father. We're missing the son today. He's out sick, but we're still looking forward to the show. We've got some great guests, and so we're excited to get started. But first things first, we want to thank our sponsor of the show today, and I got to put my glasses on for this one because sponsor of today's lunch for our guests is Jimena's Taqueria. It's Pedro over there in Burleson. Address is 12400 South Freeway, Burleson, Texas. And he is located in a Shell gas station. So you won't know it unless you go into the Shell gas station. But if you do, go in, see Pedro there. Great food. And we've got giant burritos today. So we're looking forward to eating those. Pedro, thanks so much for the sponsorship today. All right, let's move on to the show. We'll get in it. Time goes by fast. So first and foremost, we sent you the questions, which was finding out who you guys are. But, let me get to it too as well. Again, we have with us today Ashley Mullinex of EXP Realty. There you go. A round of applause for you. The audience needs to calm down. They need to not be so loud. And we also have Amy White of
Gentech Mortgage.
So, yes, there we go. Round of applause for you as well. So, ladies, we're excited to have you guys on the show. We're gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna go by fast, and so we're gonna dig and pull out from who you are and ask you some weird questions.
Let's go.
And then towards the end of the show, we're gonna talk a little bit of real estate and see what you guys are doing. All right? Okay, Ashley, I am wanting to know who you are. I know a little bit about you, but tell us what you're doing, all about you, and this is a segment of not in real estate.
No, it's just me as a person.
You as a person and who you are, married, kids, that whole good thing. Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Okay. Well, I am a mother of two girls. So we're approaching the preteen age. I have an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old. And then I'm also a wife to a wounded combat veteran. So my husband did serve in the Army back in 2012.
Oh, wow.
And he was injured over there in Afghanistan.
Oh.
But, he made a good recovery and he's a very functional person, but that's kind of, a little bit of background.
Wow.
Well,
we thank him for his service.
Thank you. And I guess diving into my hobbies, I love all things gardening.
Gardening, you got the green thumb.
Yes, actually, I do not kill plants, so I can keep them alive.
You care that much?
Yes, I do, actually. So we just moved into our home. We've been there probably just over a month, and I already have 2 box gardens, and I have melons and my herb garden, and we've planted fig trees, I have plum trees, I have a pomegranate tree. I'm
gosh.
going.
Wow.
I love it.
Well, you're going to need to expand out pretty soon.
Well, we're on an acre, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're good.
I got plenty of room.
Wow. Okay. So what's the favorite fruit? What's the ones you've got going on right now?
I would say my favorite fruit is a mango.
Ooh, that's good. Yes.
Yeah, I really like mangoes.
First time I ate a mango, I was in Mexico when I was a kid.
I bet that was a really good mango.
It was really good. And it got me hooked ever since, And occasionally you'll find some good ones, in the stores here where you just take it home. It's this is
a good
really, really good. Yeah, but then sometimes, but.
It's all about how you pick it. I use the little ball on my thumb to kind of press in, and it's not too soft, not too firm. There's a little art to it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm very picky with my mangoes.
Wow. You said you had pomegranates?
I have a pomegranate. They're all new, so they're about just 1 or 2 years old. So any fruit that does start to form, I pick it off because I want the roots. Right now I'm focused on strong roots and get it, foundationally set, and then, when it starts bearing fruit, I'll come into Burleson.
There you go. Yeah.
I know I can have some too.
I like pomegranates. I like mangoes, mangos, whatever you want to call them. What else you got? What other fruit?
So I recently just planted 2 plums, and then I have figs, and then I'm preparing a spot for 4 places for just apples. So just 4 varieties of apples, and then we'll keep going from there.
So I could just see you in my mind right now, once they're all, they're good and they're blooming and you got the fruit. I could see you dicing all this fruit up and then just feeding your husband, figs and mangoes.
Oh, that's hilarious. No, I do
You know?
plan on freezing a lot of it, and I don't know. I always thought it'd be really cool because we're kind of like the corner lot home in the neighborhood. It's a community that's going to have tons and tons of homes, and I'm like, how cool would it be for kids 10 years from now be riding their bike and be like, oh, we're going to the mall next house, let's get an apple.
There you
I
go.
just thought that'd be fun.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe cut out a little hole in your fence and like just sell fruit and
Right?
that is awesome. Okay, what else? Tell us what else you got going on. Any other hobbies? Any community involvement?
Community involvement, not yet. I'm in a place where we're just trying to plant roots. So we came, moved into the area, got the girls registered into school. We only had 6 weeks of school left, and so we're still, even trying to find extracurriculars for them. We're just kind of laying a foundation right now. So
Yeah.
I haven't been doing anything extra in the community as
Okay.
of yet.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. So out in
Godly.
yes, which is a real popular spot.
Is growing fast.
It is, yes, because I'm
Yeah.
located in the Burleson office for Texas Secure Title. Plug right there. So, but yeah, you hear a lot of people that are just building out there and, living there, working in Fort Worth, but that's where they live and they're buying the land and the bigger lots if they can find them and doing
if
that.
they
But
can.
they're also got a lot of building going on out there. I mean, there's not really a lot out there like stores and restaurants and things
No,
like
there's
that.
really not, but it's just kind of one of those prime locations. So your 1187 and 917 right there off of the Chisholm is your direct line to Godly.
Okay.
And so they have like I think it's like a Palazzio's or a Paleo's Pizza or whatever it is, and then they have Del Norte Taco, which is a really poppin'. They have like an outside band area patio where you can have drinks
Okay.
and stuff. But aside from that, there's a little grocery store, kind of a little bit larger than an Aldi, so you can get like some bare essentials, but it very much still is like a small town
Yeah.
feel. There's just so many residents. There's
Yeah.
so many neighborhoods. When you drive out there, all you see is housing.
Yeah.
And most everyone's sitting on a half-acre to an acre lot. So even like the newer communities out there, they're half-acre lot type communities.
That's nice. Yeah, keep a little bit of distance, right?
Yeah,
From
little
everybody.
elbow room.
Yeah, right. You're not looking in their window when you're at the dinner table. Yeah.
There you go. So married, how long you been married?
This May's 15 years.
15? Mm-hmm. Wow, that's great.
Yeah,
That
long
is
time.
awesome. I've got 15 on you, but that's great, you know?
So it can be done.
It-
It can be-
Yeah, in today's world, surprisingly,
Yeah.
it can be done, you know? But yes, marriage is crazy, right? It's challenging, but yes, so, 30 years. After that, I'm not even counting anymore. It's just, we've done it. I tell
Yeah.
my son, like,
Yeah.
I got 6 kids, I've got 8, almost 9 grandkids, 30 years of marriage. Yes, it's
Yeah.
all done.
Yeah.
I'm just nothing else to prove. We're just coasting right now
Yeah.
at this point. So
Absolutely.
all right, well, awesome. Anything else you want to share?
Not on the top of my head.
No, you're
Yeah.
good. Are you sure?
You questioned me, so.
All right.
Yeah, no, I think I'm good.
All right,
Yeah.
let's move on over to Amy. Amy, this is the first time we're meeting.
Yes.
So, nice to meet you.
Nice to
and
meet you.
glad you're on the show. So I don't know anything about you, so you gotta share with us and tell us all the juicy details.
Okay. Well, I am married to a Dallas firefighter paramedic.
There you go.
We've been married 4 years. We have a 3-year-old little boy, who is. I think he's like the miniature me because he's got so much energy. He's bouncing off the walls, that kind of stuff. I am a lender with Gentech Mortgage. I really enjoy it, so it's a lot of fun. I do live in Burleson. I actually created a Burleson Mom Meetup group last year. I think I have about like 700 people in it now because I just feel like
Wow.
last year there was so much like depression and things, with COVID, and so I just was like, let's create a group because I didn't know anyone yet. I was from Grand Prairie and North Fort Worth, so I was like, let me meet people, and so I created this group, and now we do like weekly meetups or every other week meeting up just to get moms socializing with other people that are stay-at-home moms or working and don't have friends.
That's really cool.
So I've
That
created
is,
this group,
yeah.
and so I have a lot of people in there. We're actually having a meetup tonight, actually. But yeah, it's been really beneficial to like meet a lot of people in Burleson that are moms and going through the same life as me.
Yeah.
So you said 700
I have about 700
members of the
Yeah.
group?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
So when you meet up, how many people do you get?
We have different times. Like tonight, I think we'll have about 20 or 30, and then like every other
Wow.
Tuesday we'll go to lunch, and like we have about 6 or 7, which is kind of more. I like it a little better because I can get to know everyone
Right.
individually versus having like 20 or 30 people show up, you know?
Yeah.
So like game night is going to be bigger, but like our meetups every other week, and a lot of my good friends have come from this group now, you know?
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I love
That's
it. Like
cool.
it's, I'm making my name
Do you all
known.
usually keep it like kid centered, or do you ever try to have nights where it's just like the moms?
Tonight is just moms, and then we do lunches, and then like every other Tuesday we'll do a lunch, and it's like you can bring your kids if you want, but it's like we'll choose Olive Garden or we'll choose like hibachi, or like we'll choose different things. Sometimes it's more just moms, so we can get to know each other, and sometimes we'll do park meetups where we can bring our kids in.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
That is
created the
nice.
group to make friends because I didn't know anyone last year, and I was like, I don't have all my friends are in
Now I have
Arlington.
like 700 friends, so.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, everybody lives in Mansfield and
exactly.
Arlington, and I
Oh,
want someone
really?
like
Yeah.
closer, like
Yeah.
2 minutes. Hey, let's meet up, you know, versus I'll be there in 30 minutes. So yeah.
Isn't that amazing how in this world today you can do things like that with all the social media, and boom, there it
Yeah.
is. You get 700 people in a group. Like, who would have thought, you know?
Yeah.
Just
And, like a lot of them are nervous about coming, and I'm like, I promise you, I'm crazy. So just come and join me. Like I'll get to know you. You know, like I'm fun. So it's just like getting them over their fear to come and join other moms. And a lot of people
Yeah.
have met other good friends from the group too.
Yeah.
So it's been very beneficial to.
That's awesome.
yeah, that is really, really
That's super cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What else you got going on?
My life. I don't know. I have a 3-year-old. You know, I don't sit still.
It's all dedicated to raising the
Yes,
3-year-old,
yes,
right?
and being married to a firefighter. You know, like that's in Dallas is its own little world. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
my
he
life is-
works in Dallas, but you guys live out in
Burleson,
Burleson.
yeah.
Well, he's got to drive then
But
well,
luckily
they
he leaves at
kinda
like
do-
5. You know.
Okay.
So he's on 24 and then
Yeah.
off 48, so it's easier. It's
Yeah.
not. He misses a lot of the traffic.
That's
so,
good.
Yeah.
So he doesn't do like the 3 in a row consecutive.
Dallas is too busy to be able to do that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Wow. Man.
Yeah, so they'll do like on 48 off 72 or something, but they're 24 48.
Okay.
Oh, that's
So,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, if I don't have to go to Dallas, I don't.
I
don't
know.
go to
I
Dallas,
avoid
you
it.
know,
I
yeah.
I'm like,
avoid
I don't
it.
want to go there. Too
Yeah.
much traffic.
Yeah, it's got cool spots. Like there's cool,
Yeah.
spots out there, but it's just like God, I just don't want to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter lives in Garland, and so whenever I go
that's
see
the
my
thick of it. Too.
yeah,
Yeah.
when I go
Really
see my
congested.
grandson play ball, it takes like an hour and a half just to
Yeah.
get there
Mm-hmm.
with all the traffic, and then watch the game. There's like they got to drive all the way back.
All the way back. Yeah, I just don't like traffic, like bumper to bumper and 10 billion lanes, and
Yeah,
I know.
But
I'm not
35 is
built for it.
getting pretty bad too. So
Yeah.
who knows?
You gotta come on the Chisholm Trail side.
Yeah.
The toll road, you gotta pay for the good no traffic, right?
It's worth
Yes,
it. It's
exactly.
so worth it.
Now
I
that.
don't even flinch. It's worth it.
No, okay, so I'm gonna ask you. You use the tolls.
Yes, there you
okay.
go.
So in California, or at least where I live, we didn't have tolls or anything like that. Surprisingly, you would think that it would, but there wasn't.
Yeah.
So the tolls here, which I've never found out. So I was driving yesterday, and you see this toll, and it's like $6 and like 85 cents.
Right.
How far does that get me if I'm on the toll? Is that for the whole thing?
No.
Or how far is that? A mile?
It depends on like. Usually it's like okay, it was 6.85 like to the next exit, or sometimes it's like it depends on traffic too.
Yeah.
Like if it's at peak time, you're gonna be paying more.
Yeah, more.
Than less. Like so sometimes like okay, when I get home, I'm like, oh man, I just paid $10. How far did I go on this thing? But it was worth it because I use the app to avoid traffic. I can't stand traffic, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just depends on.
So that's just my thing. Was like,
Yeah.
does that give me a mile, half a mile, like so? But it may be an exit to an exit or something like. It's not.
Yeah,
I got to
it's
get
not-
on this to Dallas, and I'm
No,
gonna
you're
pay.
not gonna $6. No, you'll be like $30 by the time you get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's with the toll tag.
Yeah.
Well, toll
you
tag's
don't-
usually
A little
less.
cheaper.
Yeah, it's less expensive. And
Yeah.
so, like, I do the toll tag, and I have it set up to like an auto draft. So I set myself up to like the same day every month they withdraw $40. And so
Okay.
either I'll owe a little bit more, or that'll be a credit,
Okay.
on the
Okay.
account. And so it's almost like on autopilot. I've never had an instance where I've gotten a letter saying, "Oh, you owe more money."
Yeah.
So I guess for even the amount that I use the toll, it hasn't. I guess it hasn't. I mean, my husband pays the bills. I could be lying. So
Mine's just like automatic.
He's like, Ashley.
I like to think I don't spend more than $40 a month.
But if you get too low, mine automatically puts more money on there. Like,
Oh,
like
okay.
I don't do every month at the same time. It's just like because my husband sometimes uses it going to Dallas, but if we use it, like if we get to like $2, it automatically puts more money on there.
Okay, so you don't.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it automatically, however it does it, yeah. I'm like, oh well, I guess you've been using the toll roads. We just paid another $40. That's
See,
okay.
I don't use the toll roads, and if I do, I don't have a toll tag. But if I do use it, every now and then I might jump on there, and then I'll end up getting a bill. But the worst thing is if I send that bill and it might be like $5 or $7-8, and then I just kind of it's not a bill I'm
Forget
used to
about it.
getting.
Right.
And then a few weeks go by and I get this other letter that comes in.
It's like pink.
Yeah.
Late,
You owe $40.
yeah,
now.
late
I'm
payment
like,
is crazy on that one.
yeah, I don't see how they get away with
Their late payment's like 10 times your payment.
Yeah.
I'm like, darn it.
I had
Yeah.
one that actually, I just didn't see it. I don't know if we moved or what, and it was like in the hundreds from
Oh wow. Yeah.
probably $5 or $6. It was like the third
Uh-huh.
notice or something. I
That's
just
painful.
didn't see. Yes. I don't know what color that one was, but it was
Yeah.
bad.
No, I mean, he has to use it sometimes going to Dallas. He used to work by Plano, so sometimes it would be more beneficial for him to jump on the toll road when luckily
Right.
he's on South Dallas now, but it was more beneficial taking the toll road because, like, driving to Plano in the morning is kind of
A
far.
lot.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was like, totally worth it. I'll keep paying the 40,
Yeah.
Takes you 1 hour to versus 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
All right,
had
well.
enough of 35 where I'm okay paying any fee.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh man, okay. I always wonder, so I'm glad we got that conversation. Like, all right, because I just like no, that just doesn't work for me. But once in a while, I'll jump on it if I'm in a rush,
Mm-hmm.
But it's worst days you jump on it and then everybody else is going faster than you are, and you're on that.
Or if there's a car wreck.
Yeah.
I'm scared of
What
car
the
wrecks.
heck here?
Like, or you get stuck on that toll road from a car wreck, and then
Yeah,
you're like
nowhere to go.
hours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
nowhere
That's
to
why I'm
go.
scared of them a little bit.
Good old Texas,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
All right. Are you originally from Texas?
I'm from East Texas, so you'll hear my country accent every once in a while come out.
Yeah, I hear it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "You're country." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm just from East Texas. We got more trees,
Yeah.
Like, not really country." But yeah.
And Ashley, you're from Texas too? Were you born and raised?
You could say that. I came to Texas when I was about 12.
Okay.
But I was born in Miami.
Miami.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Born in Miami, and so I see all those memes. People are like, because there's an influx of people coming to
Yes.
Florida too, right? People are going to Florida by the drones as well as Texas.
Yeah.
And I have some friends in Florida, and they were like, "Can everyone stop moving here?" And all these memes of like new people. And I was like, "Hey, technically, if ever I want to go to Florida, I got a free pass
There you
because I
go.
was born in Miami, so
Yeah.
I can always come back home."
Now that's an interesting place. Miami is. I don't know if you've been back recently, but
Oh
that's
no,
just.
I have not.
Oh, man.
I haven't been to Miami probably since I was a toddler.
Oh wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I used to work there in Florida some years back with another company, and I would always travel. But man, the first time I went to Miami, and I'm Hispanic, but I got to Miami and I was like, I feel like I'm in a third world country over here. Like it was
You're not
just.
Hispanic enough?
No, not enough. No. And they're just like, oh, I don't know. You drive in and you just, even on the streets, like people are coming up selling things and, flowers,
Oh,
or they're
yeah.
trying to sell food or fruit, and it just feels like, well, I'm from California, so, if you cross over into TJ, you got everybody, that's the way it is there.
Yeah.
And so kind of like, my gosh, like where did I end up? And so many different languages, of dialects of
a
of
melting
Latin.
pot.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So it's cool. It's got obviously a lot of neat areas, but
Yeah.
Miami is a little crazy out there.
Crazy.
So
Well, good to know.
yes.
We'll not put that on
Fort
the-
Lauderdale.
Is it?
Yeah, I like Fort Lauderdale. I like Tampa. Tampa's kind of nice too. Sarasota, all those areas. But
Okay.
Miami is just it's like another
Pretty
world.
intense.
So
Okay.
yes.
Fair enough. I'll take
Remember
your
that for
word
next
it.
time.
yes, exactly. All right, Amy. Anything else? Anything else you got going on?
No.
Any weird hobbies or strange things,
I'm
that...
just I don't know. I'm a weird person, I guess you could say. Like, because I'm like, people make fun of me because I don't eat anything in the water and I won't eat anything on a bone. And then I don't like pizza. And, and I'm just, people are like, "What do you eat?" And I'm like, "A kid's milk? Does that count?" Like, I just,
Wait,
give me some
okay.
chicken nuggets and french fries. We'll be good.
Wait a minute, nothing on a bone, so you're
So
not
you
gonna...
don't do a nugget, you just won't do the
I will
dry?
not peel that off that bone.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
do
just
not
what I was
cut it.
gonna
Do
ask
not
you.
put a bone in front of like.
Oh,
ugh.
so no wings.
No,
So
no.
if it's
No
a
wings,
grilled
yeah.
breast, boneless breast or something,
I'll
you
eat it.
that.
Yeah,
but
my
nothing
husband
with
will
the
like
bone.
cut it off. Like if it has a bone, like cut it off because I just don't like bones. I'm just like I'm not gonna eat that foot if you make it. Like can you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like fear of choking or something,
no,
or just
it's
gross you out?
Gross
or...
me out. Like don't put a bone on my plate, and I don't want nothing in the water. I'm a texture person. Yeah.
So no
So no
fish.
fish,
No, you don't eat
no
anything.
No.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
So they just like, I know, right? People are like, "Can we just need 3 adult minis and 1 kid mini for Amy?" I'm like, "Thanks, guys. Thanks. Y'all are so supportive of me."
I think Gabe's laughing over there. Yeah.
Welcome to my life, okay?
Oh,
There's never a
man.
dull moment in Amy's world. Yes.
So yeah, chicken
Yeah.
nuggets or something like
Yeah,
that.
and French fries will be good.
Wow, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, to each his own. Whoa. All right. Well, yeah, that's kind of strange. So that one qualifies.
Yeah.
So,
Good one. That's a
My life,
you're like. All right. Okay. So we'll move into. We've got a couple questions for you guys, and so when I ask the question, you got to give me an honest answer. Okay. There's no. It's a recorded show. We can edit the
Can we
show.
take a
I
non-answer?
Like, what?
We've had answers from just blurted out to just whatever So so the first question is, Ashley, when you get upset, what's your go-to word? And you need to say it how you would say it if you were upset. And I'm talking like not just casually upset.
Like,
really,
really?
you just lost that deal that fell through, and it was a $20,000 commission, and you already were, in Hawaii, spending it just like that.
Before you got it close.
Really poor management person. I don't know how to handle life at that moment.
I'd not be like, oh man.
Yeah, that's like a
So-
horrid situation.
So, what's the go-to word, and how would you say it?
Honestly, I don't think I would have a word. I'm trying to think of because I don't really ever get angry, really tiffed
That angry?
quite often.
Okay.
And it hasn't been for a really long time. Do I get disappointed, discouraged, overwhelmed? Yes, but I definitely am not.
If you stumped your toe, what would you say?
Are you a crier? You more lean towards crying?
I probably cry once a year, and it's usually close to my birthday. I think there's something to do with getting older that I don't like subconsciously.
I forget how old I am. I don't ever know. I don't know. I quit at 30.
It was last year, my birthday. I remember I was going to show a client a home, and it was just a very overwhelming day. And we're on the back roads of Mansfield, close to Rendon, and she pulls over, and we're talking, and she's got a lot going on, and I don't know what's building up inside of me, right? And then her toddler's in the back seat, and he's just screaming, and she's feeling bad. And I was like, look, it's okay. We don't have to, we can reschedule appointments. Let's not stress about it. And she's like, okay, great. And she takes off, and I get back in my Jeep, and I just start bawling. And I'm just like, what is going on? I'm not happy, but I don't ever really shout or...
You're very calm.
I'd like to think I am. A lot of people ask me all the time, what's a fight like with your husband? I'm like, I don't really fight.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think I could actually give you.
A word.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
might if I stub my toe, I'm usually like, oh, but I don't ever.
Have a, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've had that. People are more quiet. They don't say anything.
Yeah.
Or some we had a guest. I just start crying. So if you get that mad, you
okay.
start crying. Okay. I
Yeah.
get it.
Everything
I get
comes
it.
up at once,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. So we'll take that.
Okay.
You don't really get mad. You're not like
really.
all the rest of us. You don't get mad or
It's
angry
not.
or anything.
Yeah, I guess not. I don't know. I've practiced over the years. I remember in the beginning of my marriage, you have those fights and those spats, and you're working through stuff. And I remember I used to get really angry towards my husband, but it was not. I would still never shout or verbalize. I just internalized my frustration. And he pulled something really good. I forget what book of the Bible it's in, but it was just essentially don't go to sleep angry.
Yeah.
And so we worked very early on in our marriage to always communicate and hash things out before we fell asleep.
That's good.
And so to this
Yeah.
day, we really don't even, I can't even say that we get mad at each other and argue anymore, because we've learned to just quickly resolve and forgive.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's good.
yeah.
You don't do the turn your back and back to back and
No.
be mad and upset and don't talk
No.
and awkward silence and
No, that was in the very beginning of the very, very beginning. And but
Yes.
it's a practice.
yeah,
you know?
no, it is. You got 15 years.
I
in,
was gonna say,
so
she's
you
been there
figured it
15
out.
years, you know,
yeah,
like,
you
yeah.
figured it out.
Yeah.
My brother told me, my older brother told me, it's better after 30 years of marriage himself. It's like, I've learned it's better to be kind than to be right.
Correct.
Yep.
It's good advice, right?
Yeah, it is good advice.
All right. Amy.
Mine, I mean, of course, I'm different, right? So mine would probably be crap a monkey. I'm just like crap a monkey, you know? Like, I don't know where it came from, but I've been saying it for years. I have no idea.
I love
Crap.
A monkey.
Oh, crap a monkey.
Crap a monkey, guys.
Crap a monkey.
I don't know where it came from.
You need
Okay.
to create like a meme or go into Canva and create like a like so you can post it. Like when
I know. I'm telling you, like, I don't really
you
get
can
mad.
have
I mean, I don't have any patience. I mean, I did one time get mad at my husband. I was like, "You have too much patience. Can you not be?" You know, and he's like, "Can I record you saying that?" I'm like, "Leave me alone," you know. But like, I don't really get mad. I just get, I guess, a little frustrated, or I just, my word is crap a monkey.
crap a monkey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's got to be an East Texas thing.
I know, right?
Because,
It's our country thing, right? You know?
I've
Yeah.
never heard that before. But all right, on to the next question. So this one will be, so in life, we all obviously do things that we can have regrets about, you know, or wish, gosh, I wish I didn't do that. So anyways, this question will be, if you're going to give advice to someone, you know, anyone, your best friend, your family, sisters, brothers, what would be the thing you tell them not to do based on your own history? I'm not looking for like, you know, I'm looking for more something personal that, hey, I did this. Like, well, for instance, I'll tell them, like, I got married at 18, 19. So my advice to my kids would be like, don't get married at 18 or 19. Yeah, we made it, but we, you know, it's been very hard and very young. So I told all my kids, you know, don't get married at this age. Wait till you're 30, 28, 27. Do what you want to do. Travel, you know, even if that's the person, still wait. And, you know, don't have kids as soon as you get married, like I did.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I get 19, 18, my wife, and we had 2 kids by the time we're 20. And so it's, you know, you miss some things. Obviously, I love my kids. So that's the kind of advice I'm looking for. Like, hey, don't do this. Don't quit your job before you have another one. You know, don't overspend. So what would be your advice? One thing, top, that you would tell somebody, hey, don't do this.
See, this one's easier for me to
Okay,
answer.
good.
I would absolutely say don't get credit cards. Don't do it.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, I remember turning 18 and it was like all of a sudden they were coming in the mail, they were at college campuses, and it really did, or like going to the mall and every store's like, here's a credit line, and I guess it was like lack of education on my part, but I did fall into the credit card debt game, and it took a while to get out of it, put me in some really murky water for a long time, and I wish I had never even entertained debt of credit cards of any kind.
Yeah. Don't get a credit card.
Avoid them like the plague.
So do you have any credit cards now?
No.
You don't have any?
Well, I have credit cards. They're just not charged.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But you get the points on them, so you put things on, charge it, and you pay it off
You
before
pay it off.
anything. You know, so then you're
Yes.
building points and gift cards.
Yeah, but see, even that's a little scary because then it comes down to like a behavior.
You have to be responsible on it,
Yeah,
Right,
you sure
because
do.
it's very easy to be like, oh, well, minimum payment because I want to go do
No.
this. And the next thing you know, it's going up and I don't, you know, and then it's like, oh, well, hey, let's take this impromptu vacation to the beach. And then all of a sudden I'm paying off my vacation I had 2 months ago.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, you know, it's a little, you know.
Yeah.
So working really hard to, you know, try to be as debt-free as possible.
Exactly.
And so the next goal is trying to pay off the mortgage that we just bought.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Might take a little longer,
That's
but
gonna
you
take
know, it's
a
doable.
lot longer, yeah. Yeah. We're working towards it.
All right, that's a good one. Don't
Don't
get-
do debt.
Don't do debt.
Avoid it like the plague.
I like it.
You're
I
better
like
off
it.
for it.
All right, Amy.
This one's harder for me. I don't know. I'm thinking like, I mean, I don't know. This one's difficult because I feel like sometimes, like, you know, if you get frustrated with, like, don't always try to be equal to someone. You know, like, set your own standards and don't compare yourself to other people. I guess that's what I would say. Like, everybody has their own life and everything, you know, struggles, good things happening, and like, don't compare yourself to someone. Be your own unique individual.
That's good.
You know,
Let's
like,
see.
You set like the baseline. Like, you know, is that what you're trying to say? Like,
Yeah, like, you know, sometimes, like, people can make a lot of money or people might not make a lot of money or people might have a great marriage, but, you know, you truly don't know what people are going through. And so
Yeah.
don't compare yourself to someone else
Right.
that is, like, on Facebook looking like this perfect life when, you know, because that can cause so many people to be depressed because I want that life that someone else is living. Like, don't try to compare yourself to someone when you don't really know what that person's going through. You
Yeah.
know, try to be the best of yourself.
Right.
Yeah, and
So-
it's, you know, it's really easy to get caught up, especially on social media where you know everything you post is just it's fluff, you know, it's your best moment, it's your best look, whatever it might be, your best dress, you know. And that's going into that is one of the things where we kind of even created this platform that we're doing, because my son and I were talking and we're like, okay, so we knew that we wanted to do a podcast and create a social media presence of some sort, which we're still working on. But we said we'd like to do that, and then we'd also like to highlight the personalities of the people we meet, whether we're working with or not working with. But that reason was because if you go on Instagram and you post a picture, and you know, like I said, I always tell, well, if you're, you know, in your suit and you're behind a Mercedes, or if, you know, in front of a Mercedes, whether it's yours or not, or you're just on, you know, in Hawaii or something, like those are cool pictures. They look good. I understand it. There's nothing wrong with them. But as a client, somebody that's on Instagram may be saying, you know, I want to look for a realtor, because they don't go to the, well, I don't know if you guys the yellow book, was it used to be called, the yellow pages?
Yellow pages,
phone book.
The phone book.
Yeah, you know, you don't go to those anymore. So you're going to go to social media and look for an agent or a lender. So you go, and as you're scrolling through, you might see that, and you're just like, I don't relate to that person based on how
they're living their life.
Look, because you don't know that that's their car. You don't know that that's the only suit that they got, or you know, wherever it is. Maybe they crop the pictures in and all that stuff. And I understand doing that because you're trying to make a presence, but it may give the wrong impression on someone that says, no, you know, that person just looks too high class for me, and so I can only afford a $200,000 home. They're probably not going to want to deal with me,
or they're not going to spend time with me. Or, you know, they're too much. They're better than me.
Because they tried to fit and look like they had this standard that they were trying to live up to, when it wasn't. If they would have just been themselves.
Exactly.
It's just like be the best version of yourself.
Yes.
You know, like don't compare yourself to the other people.
Yeah. And then that's why we created the video and even the podcast, because the whole thing was we want to highlight the personality. You know, you might be making tons of money, and you might be driving the BMW and this and that, and it's all, like I said, I have no problems with that. But if we don't know your personality, you might have all that, come to the show, highlight your personality, even creating videos on social media, and then someone could say, oh, they're not what I thought. That guy's saying, hey, I'll work with, you know, anybody in the industry. I'll sell you this house to this house. And you get a feel of who they are, and then that same client might say, oh, you know what? They will help me. They do help people like me, you know, whatever category I fall into. So that was kind of the thing. So on social media, that's in today's world, you know, to fall into that and just feel like, because you could just start scrolling and feel like you could spend an hour and just
you're lost in time.
Yeah, and you're like everybody's doing these things, and I'm just here scrolling through my phone. And they're over there doing all these fun things.
And it can be very detrimental to one's like mental health. You know, like I've had friends and they struggle because they're like, I feel like I should be more or do more or be in this place right now, because here's where I see my peers, and here's these people on Instagram that I follow, and they're my age, and this is where they are, and I'm just like, but that's not you.
And I think that's where like my group came in from. You know, it's like I want people to know that we all come from different walks of lives, but we can all have the common thing. We're all moms, you know, and so that's where I'm like, I want people to realize, like, don't compare yourself to other people. Like, everybody is an amazing person, you know, and I'm big on giving back. I go to, you know, I'm a big Christian. Like, I'm big on helping people be successful in whatever they want to do and have a higher self-esteem than sitting and being alone and depressed, you know. Like, I'm big on trying to make people feel valued for who they are. Awesome.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is. Where do you go to church?
Fielder Road in Arlington.
Builder Road?
Fielder.
Yeah.
Oh, Fielder Road.
Fielder Road, and I talk fast too. If y'all didn't know.
You get it right.
Yeah, I talk fast. You know.
Crap a monkey, man. You know?
I know, right? Fielder.
Fielder Road is the name of the church.
We're in we're in like the middle of Arlington, and we have like 3 or 4 campuses throughout Arlington and then Grand Prairie. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Ashley, what church do you go to? Do you go?
Yeah, I don't have a church that I go to. I definitely have a heart for the Lord, and I follow Him and all the things, but I just haven't quite found a church.
I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
But you just moved back too, though. You know.
Yeah, so. I did. But you know, I've lived in the Metroplex for a while, and I've always just kind of like church hopped, and it's I don't know, it's really hard for me to find a place where I can sit and feel like I'm fed. I feel like a lot of times it's fluff, and especially when, you know, pastors were start talking and bringing in like celebrities into you know, and it's
hard.
like this, we're supposed to, you know.
We're supposed to be like diving
Like
in,
this-
not so.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's why I love our church, because it's just like, I mean, I feel like I'm convicted every Sunday. You know, and I'm like, man,
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
need this
what I'm
today.
saying, like,
you know,
that's
I'm like,
what
thank
it
you,
is,
God, for
right?
talking to me today. Like, I could have skipped today, but you know, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like church is supposed to do, and we haven't found that yet, but
Yeah.
we definitely have a love for the Lord, and we live every day the way we're supposed to.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, you've answered the questions that I had, so thank you guys for the good, honest answers there. So sometimes, like I said, we get on here and some people give us some crazy stuff, some people don't. So it is what it is. I enjoy those answers. Appreciate you guys coming on. And again, this show was created to highlight the personalities of those that are coming on. So now we'll start to kind of shift a little bit into the world of real estate that we live in and what's going on in your guys' lives as agent, as lender, interesting with, well, both, you know, but the rates are jumping up.
I
Yeah,
we're
you
good.
know,
We're good. We're gonna talk about agents. How it is over there, okay?
So, yeah, you know, obviously there's been a shift in the last
Yeah.
month or two. I guess everybody's, you know, kind of just waiting to see what it's going to look like, what's going to happen. I mean, we're paying almost $5 for gas now. Interest rates are on the rise. Inventory's low and challenging. So just tell us, Ashley, we'll start with you. This is the time for promotion and anything you got going on, from company-wise to what you're doing to any listings or anything that you might just be pushing right now. So
Okay.
give us that info, give your number, your emails, all that info, and then tell us exactly, you know, like I said, what you have going on right now or what you're seeing in real estate
Kind of
as an
what I'm
agent.
saying.
Yeah.
Well, I can definitely tell you I'm seeing, just to cover and highlight the buy side of things, I have a lot of, you know, folks and families who want to buy, but with the uncertainty with the interest rates, and they keep creeping up, and then, you know, what they want in a home, and then with the aggressiveness of the market, I do have a lot of buyers just kind of pulling the plug and sitting tight.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and give it another year of renting and save up more money, and you know, because purchasing a home is a big purchase, and you don't, you know, I wouldn't want to make a purchase if I knew if I just, hey, wait another year, save up a little bit more money, I can afford what I really want, right?
Yeah.
And so on the buying side of things, I am seeing a lot of, just me personally, my clients retract a little bit. I do have a listing that just went live this morning. It's in Godly.
There you go. I seen that.
Yeah, you did.
I shared it.
It was very pretty, actually.
Yeah, it is nice.
Yeah. So, and I recently left JP and Associates brokerage, and I went to eXp Realty.
All right.
And I did that to join underneath the Kristen Mashore organization. And so it is an organization with inside this brokerage that really puts you through a training course of just how to be a great marketer. Because right now, the way we see real estate going is like, if you're not the agent, or even lenders, you know, if you're not marketing yourself, like, you're falling to the wayside. Because we have big companies like Redfin and everyone trying to jump into the game, next door and all this stuff. And it really, if we can't market ourselves and be in front of people and make a presence, you know, it's kind of a lot of talk that I hear is it's going to be like, you're going to turn into the, oh my goodness, the travel agent, right? They went extinct.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, my goal is to really sharpen my skill set and provide a level of service to my clients to where I can come in and say, hey, look, Zillow, right? When you listed your home, when this person listed their home for Zillow only reached 1,200 people. But because I've been trained now in marketing and I know exactly what to do, how to get as many eyes on your home as possible, to bring as many offers to the table as possible, get you the most money in your pocket, you know, look at these ads that I run, and I run them in such a way where I'm getting 20, 30, 45,000 views on your home, and I'm doing way more than Zillow could ever do.
Yeah.
You know, and so right now, currently in my business, I am undertaking that training and going through all of that, which
Awesome.
hence is the video that you guys saw this morning.
Yes.
So yeah, it's, you know, it's growing, and it's really interesting. There's a whole dynamic behind marketing that it's very powerful.
Yeah.
It is powerful once you learn and figure it out, and I think it's absolutely necessary for realtors, lender, anyone, title companies. Like, that's just where it's going. It's just where it's going.
No, absolutely, absolutely. So the house you have right now is located in Godley,
It's
right?
in Godley. Yeah. So it's 12713 Panther Creek Drive in the new community of Coyote Crossing. So this home was built in 2022. The homeowner has been there a month, but something's drawing them out of state.
Wow.
So you still have until April 8th of next year, you still have the full builder warranty on the home, and you still get the 10-year foundational warranty on the home.
Okay,
so
I want it.
all that stuff. You get all the cool stuff.
Do my loan, and so, I mean, right here, right now.
And
Let's
it's
go.
It's on a half-acre lot.
Wow,
So
okay,
yeah, it's
awesome.
a really beautiful home.
Nice, nice. And what's the price?
$390.
$390. Wow.
3
very
bedrooms,
nice.
2 bath.
Nice. Prices have went up. Just
They
a tad,
have.
right?
Absolutely
Right. Okay, so the buyer coming in. So what I'm hearing, and you'll confirm this as we get in with you. Buyers coming in qualified, 3 or 4 months ago, for $350.
Right.
And so now I'm hearing some of those same buyers now with the interest rate change. Some of the realtors are getting their buyers requalified, and now they're coming up not at the same. There might be 350 to 310.
Right.
And so, like what you're saying, those buyers now are saying, "Well, I can't afford the 350 that I wanted. Now
Right.
you're showing me a $290,000, $300,000 home, and it just
Right.
not."
It's just not where my heart is. And that
Yeah.
also pulls them out of the neighborhoods and
Exactly.
the school districts that they
Yes.
want to be in.
Yeah.
And so it really, and it's different for every individual, right? Everyone has a different need. And for some folks, especially parents, the need for them is a particular school district, or
Yeah.
the need for them is to be by the grandparents because they absolutely need a babysitter on hand. And so
Yes.
they have to stay in this hyper-local area, and because of the rates, it's really making them have to pump the brakes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you've seen that different change there. So I've heard that from different realtors in the industry. And then, what right now, if I'm a buyer coming in and, I buy that home that you have listed for $390.
Come on over.
And I'm in, and so what happens next year to me, the taxes, explain that little piece, and maybe both of you can chime in on that. As far as the buyer coming in, my payment right now is $2,300. Taxes come in, and next year my payments
More
are now,
because of the taxes?
Yeah. How does
Yeah.
what's the advice for the buyer, and how does the buyer deal? I mean, is this just
No, dispute it. So you can dispute those things.
Okay.
So when you go to the tax appraiser's website, you can go in and fill out a form online, and just kind of essentially say, hey, this is what I think my home's worth. A lot of times, many people do win. Sometimes you don't. And if you don't win, then it kind of, unfortunately, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
But I had heard someone that I follow in Burleson, her house in the last 12 months, she had gotten a letter, and they said that they gained $170,000 worth of equity in their home, and that their taxes were gonna boop, boop, boop. And so she was like, I'm arguing it.
Yeah, but it can't go up. I mean, if you have the home tax exemption, it can't go up more than 10%.
Right.
So that's where some people are like, my value went up 170, but your taxes are not going to go up that high.
That high.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So that's.
But you still want to
wanna-
dispute
correct.
the value of the home, because
Yeah.
you don't want them to say and stick.
And stay it there, because you're going to meet every year.
Every year.
off
They
of
have
that.
the freedom to keep so you do want to dispute it to bring it down.
Yeah.
I see. So for the buyer, again, now let's say it goes up, a little bit. So he might be at $2,300 originally. That's his house payment. Next year he's at $2,500. Let's say. I mean, when's the cap for the buyer, and how does he ever?
Make it stop?
Yeah, how do you make it stop? Or you can't, I mean,
It's gonna go up every year.
It is what it is.
It's going to go up
Yeah.
every year.
That's.
I mean, most likely it's going to go up. Now, occasionally they've gone down, but not right now. But most likely they're always going to go up every
Yeah.
year. So you just have to kind of budget for it and make, known like, and I try to tell my buyers too, like, look, be aware taxes could go up, every year they can go up. So make
Right.
sure that you're still saving enough money that if they do go up, you're able to pay that difference
Right.
and you're not house broke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it does also, the tax rate, you can kind of check on trends, because there's some towns and cities that you are almost guaranteed that it's going to be high spikes every year.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Depending on the growth and the demographic of the area, it'll just be higher. School districts play a big role into that, and so It's just the nature of the beast, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of hard too because you might be, living in Fort Worth, and then let's say 5 years ago, you're like, I'm gonna move out to Burleson. It's just cheaper out there altogether. Or Godly. It's just nobody's out there, so I'm gonna move out.
Right.
And all of a sudden, it kind of does in reverse because everybody moved out there, and now it's going up, right? So there's really no way to really get away from it. You're gonna have to face it and deal with it. And now that rents are jumping up, I mean, it's like, okay, well, you want to pay higher in your mortgage or higher in your rent?
Well, that's the thing is like buyers that are wanting to wait. My advice would be like, I would go ahead and try to buy, and you can always refinance. So just because you have a high interest rate right now, if we can get you in a house and build the equity while you buy that house, if interest rates drop, like sometimes they drop around election time or mid-election, like. Then let's refinance at that time and get you a lower interest rate versus being able to next year the houses might even be worth even more. So you're really gonna be priced out then. So the longer you wait, the higher the interest rates could go, and then the higher the rate of the house payment too. So that's where like house value is not gonna go down anytime soon, in my opinion. Yeah. So they're gonna keep rising, and what you could afford now.
It's not a bubble. I don't think it's gonna pop.
It's not a bubble. Yeah.
Welcome to Texas. It's Texas. More expensive.
Yeah.
But people are like, we're in a housing bubble, and I'm like, I disagree.
I disagree too.
Because we just don't have enough supply for the demand that we have, and everybody's moving here. So prices are going to continue to rise, and my best advice is just buy now if you can, and then let's refinance later on. Because at least we're getting you in a house, and then we can hopefully lower your payment in the future.
Right. And then even with the equity that you build, you can refi and use those closing costs during that time to kind of roll into the mortgage too, to even the blow, so just in case you don't have money in the bank to do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's so many different ways like we can work around it versus like people just waiting. I mean, what do they say? Like 6 more hikes in interest rate hikes possibly this year? Like,
I don't know. You're a lender. Please tell me. What is that?
That's what they say. But they say that. But it's
they're talking like 0.02 hundredths of a.
They don't
point,
give
right?
They don't give exact answers. That'd be great, but I mean, you really don't know.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, I know. You really have no idea what you're going to increase. That's what I'm saying. Like, get a house now if all possible. Right. Like get the house now, build the equity in your house, and then let's worry. But I also don't want people getting in a house where they're going to be house broke. All they can do is afford that payment. We want something that's going to be truly beneficial to them to have a house that's not also going to break them, and they're going to be stressed out every month trying to make that payment.
Yeah,
very true.
No one wants to be house broke.
Correct.
Very true. Okay, we'll finish here with Ashley. Ashley, anything else you want to promote just about yourself and what you're doing? Throw out your number, throw out how people can contact you.
So if you want to reach me, my phone number is 210-834-6094. You can find me online at my website if you want to go house hunting, ashleymullinax.exprealty.com. My email is ashley.mullinax, MULLINNIX, at exprealty.com. My Facebook, you can find me Ashley with EXP Realty. It's kind of on just Ashley EXP anything, you should be able to find me.
Yeah, she's got a good Facebook page, so you got to go check it out.
Check out my Facebook page, and if you want on my Insider, I have a private group, so send me a private message if you want in on my personal group.
Okay, that's the one I think I've...
That's the one you were like, I can't share. I'm like, because it's a private group.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, awesome. Ashley, thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you need a good realtor, Ashley is your girl. Give her a call.
Thank you.
Email, Facebook. So, Amy, tell us a little bit about what's going on in the lending world, and what you personally got going on, who you work for, where you guys are located, and then just give us some inside information on all the interest rates, which is what everybody wants to talk about, right?
I know, right? No, I work for Gentech Mortgage. They are out of Dallas. Most of us work at home. I live in Burleson, so I work from Burleson office. I have been a lender almost a year now, so I'm a newer lender, but I love it, and I've been closing deals. I love being a lender. It's just amazing. Truly because I enjoy helping people, and I have a passion for helping people. Interest rates, yes, are on the rise, but that should not disqualify anybody from trying to buy a house. Yes, the inflation and everything. So everything's rising. So interest rates rise. I think a lot of the problem with the housing market now is interest rates, but I really don't see it as as a lender, I don't see it as the interest rates is the problem. There's just not a lot of supply out there. We are a small brokerage, which I really like the fact that our interest rates are more competitive because we're smaller. So we're able to do more things to keep our interest rates lower. So that is very good. And we're a small company. I love like just the family atmosphere. We want to help people. We are helping people, like if they need to fix their credit, we'll help them repair their credit so that we can get them to be able to buy a higher, more expensive house, you know? Because if your interest rate's lower, not interest rate, if your credit score is lower, you can't afford as much of a house normally. So the more we can get you, we're going to try to do to help you. And I mean, if your credit score is higher, you have a lower interest rate, you know? So that's where we want to be able to help people get the best interest rate that they possibly can.
That's why you don't get credit card debt, right?
I'm telling you, it's
so that
evil.
when you want to buy,
Yes, you don't want credit card debt, but it does help you build your credit.
But you need credit.
Yes. Well, but see, that's why I have cards. There's just like no balance because I need
it builds your credit as long as you're responsible to pay them off.
So let me ask you this. So, okay, you got the credit card. You're responsible with your credit card. So, you use it. I spend $500 this month. At the end of the month, I pay it off. Is it better to get that and pay it off, or leave a little bit of a balance to establish more credit history? Does either one make a difference?
We usually recommend keeping a minimum balance so that it can build your credit.
Like under 30%, right?
I think it's
whatever
like 10%, isn't it? Like
it's about 30%.
30%.
You don't want to use 30% of
See,
your
that's
credit
how
usage.
strict I am on my credit usage. I'm like, it's 10%.
No,
Y'all don't go higher than 5.
30% of your whole credit usage, like your whole credit amount.
Yes.
Stay under that. So we sometimes say just put $10 on this credit card and then, pay off, or put 50 but pay off to 10. Different ways. We're able to work with each person individually to find the best solution for them.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And that's one thing too, as a realtor, I will let people know, like I showed Amy, I have a list of preferred lenders that I go to because I want the lenders that will take the time to talk to buyers, to educate them, to say, hey, look, this is what it looks like. And a lot of times I'll have, my clients will call me and they'll say, hey, I want to purchase in 12 months. I'm like, great, let's talk to a lender. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because we can sharpen the iron now to where in 12 months from now, like, it's beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm like, it's really important. Like, it's absolutely, the step is to link up with a really solid lender, someone that'll take their time, look things over, and give you a plan, right?
Yes.
And it's really like, you're not paying for it. It's not like, oh, here, Amy, here's $150 to run my numbers and look at everything. No, it's like a part of the service, like as a whole.
Yeah. And then too, like, you want a lender too that has good customer service, that's gonna, we're gonna answer our phone when you call us. I mean, yes, people call me 8:30 or 9 at night. Now, it's not ideal, but like, if I'm awake, because I go to bed kind of early too, then I'll respond, and if I wake up in the middle of the night, people are like, you emailed me at 2 a.m. I was like, well, I happen to be awake at that time.
Yeah.
Like, I won't text you that time, but I'll respond. Like, you want a responsive lender that is going to be there for you and truly has your best interest at heart. And that's not just there for a paycheck kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So.
very true, very true. So, I had a question and I think I lost it. Oh man, I was gonna ask you. Okay, so what are you seeing right now? I'm the buyer. I want, if I qualify for a $300,000 home, and I'm gonna come in with just the minimums, whatever I need to. Where and I know you can't give me a definite, but where in line would my payment probably fall into if I'm doing that type of, just the minimums that I can afford and $300,000? Give me an estimate on what somebody would be paying monthly for that right now with the interest rates that they are now.
I mean, interest rates are in the 5s, most likely right now. So I would say, on a 300, I did a 435 recently, and that payment was around 3,200. So I would think maybe closer to 22,000 to 2,500, basically based off your interest, interest rate too.
Yeah.
But I can't guarantee you that. But yeah, because every day, like, if we don't lock in that rate right then, like, next hour it could be higher, or it could be lower. We don't know. But I always, we always want to, like, when the loan comes in, we want to lock the rate right then normally, which before we try to wait to make it go down. But just because they're so volatile right now, we try to lock them when they come in.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what we recommend. But yeah, 2,000 to 2,500 is a big range, but it's just based off credit and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I know when I bought my first home years ago, I think it was like, I paid like $350 for the house, and I think my interest rate was like 6.5 at that time.
Yeah, and so that's like another, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not uncommon. Like, I've heard from realtors who've been doing this for 18 years. They're like, there was a time where people were getting like 12%.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, well, yes, the houses weren't as expensive.
But they weren't expensive back then. Like, they were a lot cheaper back then. But now, high house values, high interest rates.
Right.
you're kind of
High mortgage payments.
Yeah, and pair that all together, Texas doesn't really seem as affordable as it did 2 years ago.
No.
Yeah, interest rates are more like, I mean, they're not, yes, people consider them high, but again, like 20 years ago.
But like the inflation, so the house prices shooting up and then the taxes increasing.
Yeah.
It's, it's not as affordable. It's just not as affordable as it was a couple years ago.
And I think we got used to the 2% interest rates recently. Like I think
That
everybody
was a beautiful time.
everybody was getting used to the low interest rates.
I remember those times.
So that's where everybody's like, these rates are so high because we're used to, like, before COVID, they were around the same number. But COVID, everything went way down, and that's where people are like, but I want the 2%. And I'm like, well, that's come and gone, So that's unfortunately like why everybody thinks it's high.
Kicking yourself in the butt that you didn't take advantage of those rates.
Well, a lot of people were trying to, but that is what created the surge of buyers.
Correct.
Right? And then it was the uncertainty of the market mixed with COVID and inflation that kept, unless you had a need to sell, homeowners didn't want to sell.
Yeah.
They were like, I'm going to see what the market does. I'm either going to gain a ton of equity out of this and I'm going to sit pretty, and then in 5 years when everything calms down, I'll sell.
Yeah.
But it was this tug of war. And I remember about a year into this going, why haven't the feds increased the rate? I mean, because if you look at it, that's how you control. It's the monopoly, right, of everything. I was like, if they could just, bump up the rate, then all this would normalize a bit. Buyers could have a chance again. But now they're doing it just in it feels like an extreme way where I personally, but what do I know? I live in godly Texas. I'm not, up in the Fed level, but I honestly personally think they should have been increasing it slowly a year ago.
Yeah.
Instead of all, that's what, I mean,
Jump.
that's the stress. It's just like constant rates. Like, okay, another rate increase, another rate, and you don't know what that rate increase is going to be.
Right.
And so it's just every day. Like, I get the emails. Okay, interest rates are this now, or this. And so it's just that puts a lot of people, and then we don't have a lot of supply because people are afraid to move because where are they going to move to?
Right.
Like I can sell my house for a good amount of money, but where am I going?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Can I even upgrade? Right. Because all that money has to go into the next home.
And I don't want to lose my interest rate that we got because we bought a house in 2020, I think, or 2020, and so we have a very good in the 2 interest rate. And if I move,
you're gonna get a 5.
I'm gonna get a 5.
Yeah.
You know that monthly payment right there.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all.
And every situation looks different for every individual, and again, everything's changing daily. So, I mean, honestly, if anyone's listening to this and you're a buyer or you're a seller, the best thing to do is pair up with your lender, with your agent, and just start having the conversations.
Yeah.
Check in, here's my goal, here's my thought, what's going on right now. Let's have a conversation instead of, just kind of, clamoring in the corner and listening to the news. Because I'll tell you now, a lot of times people freak out over the news, and if you talk to someone that's in it, and I mean, it's kind of different news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
We have an inside scoop, so always lean into the professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so any specific loans you're doing right now, or you want to promote what your company offers that people might be interested in if they're in a different situation?
I'm working. I mean, we offer down payment assistance. A lot of programs do. That's been changing too because they don't want to offer the 3, 4, 5%. But honestly, I mean, working with a brokerage is just. I feel like it's better because our rates are so much more competitive. It's hardly, I don't think any lender, honestly, unless it's another broker, can really beat the rates that we have, just because as a broker, there's so much more that we can do. And our rates are that much more competitive because we have lower rates. So just with the rates constantly going up, just call me and let me see what even if you are shopping, say you're shopping around lenders, and you could just give me your credit, say, hey, I think my credit is this or whatever. I'll run a price analysis for you and see, okay, well, I think your interest rate would be this with us, and we're not having to re-pull your credit. We can just kind of you can shop us and we can give you our best interest rate that we would have at that time.
Okay.
So, and because some people are like, well, I want to look around, but I don't want them to pull my credit again. Okay, well, you can just say, Amy, I think my credit's a 720, and I'll run the scenario and see, okay, well, if you have a 720, this would be our interest rate for you, versus let me pull your credit again.
I
And
see.
if you like it, then we can, you can fill out the application. We'll go that way. So.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're running out of time, so give us your information, your phone number, emails. Put it out there if anybody.
Okay, my number is 903-353-3232. My email address is amy@gentech, GENTEC, mortgage.com. And yeah, I'm on Facebook. It's Amy White. So
Right.
yes.
Okay. And the group. What's the group Facebook?
My group is called Burleson Moms Meetup. So it's got like a blue, we call it the Mob Squad, M-O-B, Moms of Burleson Squad. So that will be the picture.
That's pretty good, yes.
I wanted it all capital because I didn't want to look like I'm a mobster with it, capital M-O-B, you know, so it's like Mob Squad. We have t-shirts made, so if you ever see them around, it's probably one
That's
of
so fun.
my moms.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's Burleson Moms Meetup, and you'll see all about me in that group too.
There you go.
So.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming on the show. I had a great time with you. If you're looking for a realtor, Ashley Mullinex right here. If you're looking for a lender, you got Amy White. We just thank you guys for coming on. Had a great time. We hope to get you back on. Right now, we've only got, this is our 14th show. So we're definitely trying to get everybody maybe back to come back, you know, in the next 6 months or so. So we'd love to have you guys back, and just enjoyed having you today.
No,
Thank you so much. And the lunch is good, so go to
I haven't even, yes, I
that
haven't.
place. I got a bite, but then
Yes.
it was messy, so you know, like, yeah.
Jimena Taqueria in Burleson at the Shell Station.
Yes.
Go and check them out. Pedro, thanks so much. All right.
Thank you.
We are
Thank
done
you.
here. Thank you so much. Take us out, Gabe. Is he there?
No, he's right
Oh,
there.
there he is.
He's right there.
All right. There we go.
Check 1 2.